Hi guys, it's Amy with Astitchforyou, and this is our mask tutorial. It comes in 4 sizes. It's all in the hoop, woohoo! And this is what you see here is all the supplies you're going to need for it, and your hoop and tearaway stabilizer. So let's get going. First thing you're going to want to do, I'm going to show you with the medium size. There is a small, a medium, and this is the large, extra large, and there is a channel for your wire, and there is a pocket on the back. It is 3-ply. You're going to need 3 pieces of fabric that you can find in the file. All the sizes, measurements for each size. And first thing you're going to do is you're going to iron your first piece in half. And we're going to move over to the ironing board so I can show you that part, okay? Give me 1 sec. Okay, so you're going to have 3 pieces of fabric for this. We're using cotton woven, which is what's recommended. This is a mask for extra protection. This is for if you're going to the grocery store or if, you know, you have to go out somewhere from your house. And we just decided that it would be great to have one that was all in the hoop. So these 2 yellow pieces are for the back, and this is your front piece. So what we're going to do first is we're going to iron this piece in half, wrong sides together. Then we're going to iron this one in half, wrong sides together as well. 1 second. Okay, I switched it around so we could iron this one in half this way. Give it a good steam for that cotton woven. Pre-wash your fabric or you're going to have shrinking. Then we're doing this one in half, wrong sides together again. And these 2 are going to make up your back piece. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go over and we are going to do the pleating, and then everything else is in the hoop. 1 sec. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys what they look like when they're pleated. That's going to be 2 pleats for the upper back piece. So actually it's going to go like this. Sorry about that. From the fold. And then this is your front piece here. And I love these little wonder clips for pleats. They're totally awesome. You're going to need this, some thin tape. You can use masking tape, but I love, if you've watched my videos, you know that I love the medical tape. So I found a little skinny one. Woohoo, love it. You're going to need 4 tiny pieces of faux and a big piece and a pipe cleaner. But for pleating purposes, I'm going to use this one, okay? And the yellow that we just ironed. So for your top piece, we are going to go 2 inches from the top is going to be your first pleat. So I've got my handy Sharpie here. Let me move this down a little bit. Is that? There we go. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So we're going to go 2 inches from the top is going to be your first one. And I just do a little mark. You can use a fabric marker. I like Sharpie because it shows up better. And you're going to cut the edges off anyway, so you'll be all right. So your pleats are 1 inch. Between pleats, you want a 1/2 inch, so that's where your next one's going to start. And then you go to the next, to another inch down. Third one, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, half to the 4th, and there. That should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you come over on this side and do it again. So your first one's 2 inches down. Then you go 1 inch. Then you go to a 1/2. And that's 1 inch pleat. You go to another 1/2. And that's 1 inch pleat. And your 4th one starts there and ends here. Okay? So then you set that piece aside. There's no pleats in the bottom of the back. And this one, is that in a good spot? Let's see. Let's go down one more. This one, you're going to start 1.5 inches up from the bottom, from the fold, sorry. So you're going to go up 1.5 inches and put your mark in. And that'll be your first pleat to the next half mark. So there's your first inch pleat. Go 1/2 inch and do the next pleat. And there's only 2 in the back. Okay? So on this side, you do the same thing. You go up 1.5 inches, and I kind of move this over because I'm crazy like that. You could also do this with a ruler. So you're going to start 1.5 inches up, go to your next, skip 1/2 inch, and finish it off. Okay? Now, you're going to need 4 for that one. And 8 for the big one. Okay, so to pleat these, hopefully this shows really good. It's super easy. You just march. I'm a little spicy tonight. Sorry, you guys. You just match up your notches. And the clips are the perfect size to hold your pleats in. You skip your 1/2 inch and take your next one down to the next one. Whoops. And they don't have to be super exact. I mean, this is going on the inside after all. And you want to make sure that when you fold it, that your edges are straight, or they will get wonky. And flip it over. And match them up again. Fold it, clip it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? And do the same thing to the second one. And you want to make sure your pleats are going down, since you only have 2 on the back piece. Then you smooth them with your hand. And I like to go over them with an iron before I use them in the hoop, but you can see your hand does a great job as well. Okay, so we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to do this one real quick. Well, not super quick, but kind of. It gets faster as you do more and more of them, right? So again, you start from the top, and always make sure if you're working with a print that has a direction, that you're going the right direction, right? Oh my goodness. So, all right, so there's your first one. Skip your 1/2 inch. Take your next mark to the next mark. Don't worry about your frayed edges. They're gonna get cut off in the end. And like I said, the dimensions for your cuts are going to be in the file when you open it for each size. This is the medium, so this front piece is 10 by 7.5. Don't worry, there's no quiz. You don't have to remember. It is written down. Okay, I can't get this one for some reason. I don't think I can talk and pleat at the same time. When you work, do you stick your tongue out? My 9-year-old does. She's adorbs. You know her. She's Muffin Noodle. She's in lots and lots of our pictures. And because of her, I started sewing. And then from sewing, went to embroidery. Before that, it was scrapbooking. Shout out to the scrapbookers. Whoop, whoop. Okay. There's that side done. Okay, you can see those starting to take shape. Kind of pull on them. Don't pull your clips out. That would suck. Okay, here we go. I didn't even check to see if you could see that good. Can you see that? How I'm folding that? Sort of. See if I can get it closer to you guys. There we go. Mark to mark. And you skip your 1/2 inch and you go to the next marks and line those guys up. Whoopies. Did I really just say that? I'm so sorry. I should have a big old glass of wine next to me. What am I thinking? Don't whine and embroider. These plates would be all jacked up. Okay. Nope. See, and sometimes they just slip right out. Yeah, that one just doesn't want to be in there. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to that one. Okay, last but not least. Mark those guys up. There we go. And we don't like our pleats in this pattern to overlap, so they kind of just butt up to the end of the one before it. So you can see, once you flatten them out, so pretty. So pretty. Okay. So these pieces that we just pleated are going to end up looking like this one right here. So adorbs. And we are doing faux tabs, and you can slide through faux, or I saw somebody was using cotton clothesline, which is a type of kind of like a rope. This one is mine, and I like the stretchy. You can also do the same pattern with elastic straps. The turtle one we're going to do with the faux tabs, and then we're actually going to do a circle of faux like this through the tabs for my 12-year-old. He likes that. And you could put ribbon through there. I mean, the choices are endless, really. So what we're going to do now, you guys, is we're going to switch over to the embroidery machine and get going, okay? So we'll see you over there in just a second. Okay, step 1 of your embroidery file for the medium, for all of them, is your placement stitch. And this is where you're going to be lining up your 2 pieces to make your filter pocket. So I went ahead and did that. I'm going to take my trusty spray adhesive, love it. Don't spray in the middle because you don't want it to stick to that part of your fabric, just around the edge. Just a little bit to help hold it. We're still going to use tape. And we are going to start with this piece here. So we've got our fold down at the bottom, and we're just going to evenly line that up right up against that stitch. You're going to pull your clips off, keeping your pleats nice and straight. And you're going to get your awesome sticky tape here. And just barely on the edge, just to hold it in place. You can reuse pieces of this tape quite a few times, actually. But I don't need to right now. I ordered an extra box on accident, so I have lots of it. So I'm not reusing any today, so there. You're going to put this one down here for now, but it's really not for long. I do like to tape my pleats down just right in the center, just so my needle doesn't get stuck. Alrighty, so 1 second. Okay, so step 2 is going to be your tack down for this top piece, and we designed it so that there's going to be an extra stop and start because we want it to go over with the direction of the pleats, not against, okay? 1 sec. Okay, step 3 is going to create the channel for your pipe cleaner or your wire, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever you want to use. right, now I'm going to see if you guys see that C we put on the end. That is so you can now slit the top layer. You have to be very careful that you don't catch the bottom layer. Slit it there in the C so that you have less fraying when you're taking your pipe cleaner and sliding it in there and out, you know, to wash it and things, or to switch it out if it gets old. So I like to use a super tiny, teeny, really pointy and a little curved, super sharp, little tiny scissor. So we're going to trim our thread first, and then you just kind of pick at it to get the top layer only. Again, you don't want to cut all the way through. And if you want to, you can kind of cut away to that. One second. I think I need my glasses tonight. So again, you only want to get that top layer. And it's just easier if you do it now than if you do it once you're all done. But you can wait to the end if you want to. There we go. So I just make like a little dash. I don't know if you can even see it. Yeah, you can. Alrighty, so our next step is going to be adding the bottom piece. So give me just 1 second. Okay, so you're going to remove that bottom piece of tape and just stick it on top because you're going to use it again. And line this guy almost barely overlapping. I mean like the tiniest amount. And I just stick that on there real lightly just for now. And you're going to tape down both sides like before with the bigger piece. Okay. And you don't need one on the bottom. And now we're going to tack that bad boy down. And I'm going to leave the camera rolling because I want to show you, if you can see barely, right here. How can I get you closer? Is that better? Nope. All right, hang on 1 second. I gotta move my camera. All right, you guys. Can you see right here? Your needle guard is not quite over the second piece of fabric, so just watch it just a bit till it goes over that, and then you'll be all set. Okay? 1 sec. Okay, so now both pieces are tacked down, and now we are going to close up that seam. Okay? Easy peasy. And when it gets down to about here, we're going to pull that tape off. Now, you probably can't see this, but it tends to hit the lip of the bottom seam fold. So I just kind of hold it down just a little bit till I make sure that it's over it. Because I want to butt it up as close as I can be so that your filter pocket doesn't just hang open inside, okay? So there you go. me show you this nice seam here. So you can see there. It's a little decorative stitch. And then what we'll do is this will be open when you get done and pull your stabilizer off, and that's your pocket. Now our next little step here is just a little extra fun add-on we wanted to include. It's a tiny little heart so that whoever you're giving it to knows that it was made with lots of heart. Okay, our next step is going to be doing the placement stitches for your faux elastic. I wouldn't use elastic for the loops, but you can. Faux or elastic, however you want to do it, or you can even do fabric if you've got bias tape or you've made bias tape. There's going to be 4 separate ones, and we've designed it so that, it goes with the direction of the pleats, not against them, so you won't be having anything get caught, okay? Okay, now we're going to tack down our faux. My tape. Sorry about that. I just use little tiny pieces. So you take your, you've got your 4 pieces here cut already. They are 1.5 inches to make our loops. You might find you like them a little longer, you like them a little shorter. That's really up to you. And I have flipped it over so that the shiny part's on the inside, because this is for my 12-year-old son who is too cool for shiny or shimmer or anything like that. And you're just going to line that bad boy up with your placement stitch. And I tape on both sides to keep it out of the way. So you're going to do this to all 4. There we go, actually. Your tape will stick to each other. Yeah, you could pull that one off. You can line those up with the edge of your fabric if you want. Again, it's a lot of it's personal preference. You also don't want to get too much tape on your faux, because as you can see, it's really sticks to it. So only on your inside piece, like just barely tack it down, just enough to hold it in place. Okay, I'll do the other 2. Hold on. Okay, so I went ahead and I did the tack down stitch for the faux. I'm going to leave the tiny pieces of tape there. This is your last and final stitching step. Make sure that your pleats are facing down. And you're going to line these up pretty much with your piece underneath is what you're doing. Pull all these clips off while holding your pleats in place. All right. Cookies. A big long piece of tape here. Okay, so this one, again, just barely there on the edge, okay? Keep everything smooth and folded right. These pleats look a little wonky. He's a boy. He's not gonna sue me, I don't think. I don't know. He loves his turtles. Also gonna tape one in the middle so that I make sure nothing gets caught on there. Now, the way that this one has to stitch, we had to do, we couldn't keep it totally directional. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape a piece of our medical tape, which you can sew through, it doesn't gum up your needles, and do it over like that. Okay, let me put that closer. Okay, so your needle is going to go right down the middle of that, and then it peels right off when you're finished. Okay, so go ahead and keep tacking down your fabric. And actually, you can take off one of these down here and reuse it up here. And then we're going to do that same thing over on this side with those pleats. right in from the edge of the piece of tape that you already put there to hold it down. Okay? Do a couple at the bottom. Again, you could reuse it, or you can use painter's tape. Some people use masking tape. I would not do this without any assistance. Use your stuff. It's a little loose, and you're going through here. There's so many layers through here. It's nice and bumpy, okay? So you want to keep it nice and flat. And we're going to stitch your overall tack down, and then the stitching part's done. Give me one sec. Okay, friends. So there you have it. Look, totally stitched. Woohoo! Now, we are going to pull this guy out of here. We're going to take all the tape off. Give it a good cut with our pinking shears. Put the dirty hoop away. You guys already know I'm a dirty hooper. Ha ha ha, sorry. Had to say it. Okay, so that tape we stitched through, look at that. Tears right off. Ta-da! Love it. Easy peasy. Your pleats are gorgeous. Sticky, sticky, sticky fingers. Pulls a little bit, that's okay. You're gonna cut it. Come on. You could serge your edges first, I suppose. See how that's sticking to the faux? Oh, yeah. But you really don't need to. I mean, you're going to trim it anyway, so you're all good to go. All your seams are on the inside, so it's super clean, super awesome. No sewing machine, just your embroidery machine. Hooray! If you can get the tape off your fingers. Oh, and I moved my trash can. Okay, so I'm going to get all this stabilizer off, and I'll be right back. And I'm going to take... One thing I wanted to show you guys is when we're cutting or taking this tearaway off of the opening for your filter, you're going to want to cut the basting stitch that was our guide. Okay. All the way to the last one, and just every couple of them will do. And then, have you ever used these? They are the best little snippers in the world. They're by Havel, and I get them on Amazon. I've also gotten them at All Stitched Up by Angela. Actually, that's where I got my first ones. And you're going to also want to cut the other side of that basting stitch. See that? And then I use them to catch my stabilizer so I can pull it off. They are so handy for getting in there. See? Ta-da! All right. And we cut it, and we're going to do that at the other end as well, because he's in there somewhere. And we have to get all that stabilizer out. Maybe. You guys know it's a full moon tonight. My kids were a mess. You know, I would imagine it's really hard to be 7 right now and stuck in the house with your family and miss your people and miss your teacher and miss your friends. Okay, let's see. Did I get it? Maybe. Maybe not. I'm going to put you on hold. This is taking forever. Okay, I got it. And there is your opening. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm going to use my Fiskars pinking shears here. And don't cut your stitches. Don't cut too close. That is catastrophic. It is a little hard to cut through all the pleats, so bear with me here. And just so you guys know, this one was done in the 5x7 hoop. The large and the extra large are done in the 6x10 hoop. And the small is also done in the 5x7. There we go. Now, a little trick is to make your seams lie better. If you're a sewer, you already know this. And cut into your corners. And then just go in your valleys and just make some cuts. It'll just help everything lay a little better. And with the bulk of the pleats, that is very handy. Takes a little longer if you don't have the time. If you're cranking out hundreds of these, then you probably won't do this part. And it won't be anything bad, but it just makes it a little bit better. Okay, but again, don't cut your stitches. Then your awesome in the hoop will have a hole, and that'll be terrible. Okay. Do. Is this super boring? I hope not. I'm trying to make it quick. Quick. It's a full moon tonight. Oh my god. I think I already said that. Quarantine's making me lose my mind, you guys. Like this. I'm talking to myself. Oh my god. I'm talking to you guys. Are you losing your mind too? Again, this is from Astitchforyou. Each size is free in the group. Then we also have a cute little addition that Carrie will be listing as well. So we are going to flip this bad boy inside out. Ta-da! Maybe. There we go. Oh, these turtles. Oh my god, they're so cute. I might need to keep this one. What does a 12-year-old need masks for? He's not going anywhere. Right? Alright, now. Remember what I said about it sticking to the faux? Look at that. Totally sticks. So pull it off carefully because you don't want to wreck all of the work you've just done. But by only putting it on there a little bit, you should be good to go. Watch this magic. Kind of push out your seam there, get your corners out. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. OMG, you just made a mask all in the hoop. Shut the front door. Check it. Check it, girls. Turtle! Is that not adorbs? And then I'm going to press the seams down. That's up to you. Here's your back. And your mask filter pocket. And this is where you're going to insert your pipe cleaner. Maybe. Who knew? How many people does it take to put a pipe cleaner in? Ta-da! There we go. And when it gets over there, then you can pull it out just a bit. Oh my god. Don't use fabric scissors. And it's a little less than 6 inches is how long they need to be. That one was just cut in half. And then you can pull your fabric, and get that guy in there. Well, I still left him too long. Ta-da! And it is in. You are good to go. When this goes on, you've got your gorgeous pleats there, and you'll see they go right back. They wash beautifully. You've already pre-washed your fabric, so you already know there won't be any extra shrinking. Put that trash out of the way, and we are going to do 2 loops for him, and we are going to make them 5 inches. No, let's see, we're going to go 6 inches. 1 each. You know? Yeah. I'm thinking 7. We're going to do 7-inch strips because then I can tie it or untie it depending on his head size when we try it out tomorrow. Everybody is in bed now. Here's my safety pin. And when you're using faux, make sure you bend it over before you try to thread it through, or it's going to be all ugly. All right. So we're going to put that through those little loops. Don't pull it all the way out the other side, right? And again, you could use cord, you could use ribbon, you could use fabric, you could use bias tape, elastic. This is called FOE, fold over elastic. It's mainly used for like headbands, baby headbands, things like that. Okay. And this one, I'll put that one through too. If you look at this one, so this part goes over your head, the mask goes on your nose, and then the ties, tie up at the top of your head. And you can pull it tighter around, this one will go around the back of your neck. Okay. So I think we're all set, you guys. I think that's it. If you have any questions, come on, go on into this Astitchforyou group and we'll try to answer them, or go ahead and message me here if you have any questions. All the sizes can be found with the files. And the way we designed them was the small and the medium are the same size, but for smaller children, we have curved it more. And so that, oops, sorry, that was upside down, dirt. So that it's smaller on the sides for their faces. And the small we're saying is 7 and under. This one would be 8 to 12-ish, or a petite adult. The medium would be teen and ladies. And then the extra large, oops, that's the large, sorry. The extra large would be, I like to call it big man size. It was, for my husband, he's 6'4". So that one was too short. We wanted it to come over on the sides of his face really well. Alrighty. And this, again, is the medium as well. And you see I got that faux through there. And then I will just loop it. And he will be good to go with everybody else. Alright. I hope this has been informative. And I hope you guys have a great night. Stay home. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Bye, guys.